Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you might be joining from. I am HR Funk, and this is my firing line for Wednesday, May 21st, 2025. This is the online show that's completely driven by you, your questions, and your comments. Otherwise, I would be sitting here contemplating the prospect of building an ark right now due to all the rain we've been having. In fact, it's raining again right now, very heavily outside. And it seems like since the beginning of May, we get that about once every 6 hours. Which I've got to tell you is really beginning to hinder my video production because trying to get out to the rain between or get out to the range between the rainstorms is quite the daunting task. I have managed to get a few trips to the range in lately, and you've seen some of these in my recent videos, but it's literally I'm going there between storms. And in some cases, I'm either getting there right at the end of a storm or I'm trying to get everything done before the next storm begins. So if you wonder why you haven't been seeing more shooting videos this month than you have been, the reason is because I'm just having a lot of trouble with the weather. Well, I've got that, and I've got some other demands on my time that really are cutting into my production schedule. So I'm trying to keep things going the best that I can. I don't think there's going to be a Saturday premiere video, which is why, or at least one of the reasons why I'm doing the live stream this evening. It's looking like my plan was I got something I was working with today. I wanted to get out to the range with it. And because of the weather, I was not able to do it. And it's not that I can't shoot in the rain or can't go out to the range in the rain. I've certainly been on the range shooting many, many times in all kinds of inclement weather. But my recording equipment is another story. And it's also just been so dark. Even when it wasn't raining today, it never really quite felt like daytime. It was like perpetual twilight outside, which makes it very difficult to get good video as well, because if there's not enough light coming into the camera, if you ever wonder sometimes why videos look grainy when the outside lighting is not bright sunlight or there's not real bright lights on an interior video. The reason is because as that light diminishes, it causes that grainy quality to the video, at least in my cameras. I can't speak for everyone. There are probably special low light cameras out there that don't do that, but I do not have them. So all this to say, if you've been wondering, again, why you've not been seeing quite so many shooting videos in May as you typically do, that's a big reason why. I'm just fighting with the weather and have been this entire month. We got a bunch of people here so far. According to the ticker, there are 22 people in the room. I know John G was the first one here. Limp Biscuiteer was right behind him. And we got Marv Turner here, who was saved from watching Wheel of Torture. Ben Crane is here. Good evening, Ben. Hod 8 made it. Jonathan Jackson, and it looks like that's everybody that's checked in so far. And KD Cowboy, looks like just checked in. So I'm glad everyone has made it. If you are here and haven't chimed in to say hi, be sure to do that just so I know you're around. And I saw a question from KD. Why? Okay. Apparently this hadn't rolled up quite far enough yet. How did the cleaning the backyard go? It was not just the backyard. It was the front yard, the side yard, the backyard, the pool. I had a layer of tree debris, leaves, and those fuzzy seed things that come out this time of year, and just little twigs and everything, some of which was probably an inch thick on the bottom of my swimming pool, to the point that I wasn't entirely sure I was going to be able to get all of that stuff out of there. So I spent a good deal of time on Saturday and more time on Sunday, literally scooping that out, trying to be careful not to damage the pool liner. And finally got it cleaned out to the point that I was able to use the pool vacuum and run that around in there. And by the time Sunday afternoon rolled around, I was actually kind of proud of what I'd accomplished. It looked like a swimming pool again that someone might actually get into if the water ever gets warm enough. Right now it's probably about 3 degrees above freezing, so it would be like jumping into a glass of ice water. That's another reason I keep waiting for the sun to come out and the warm temperatures to get here. Um, the yard was kind of the same thing. I got all of the big limbs and sticks and all that kind of stuff out of there. Still a lot of leaves in the yard that are going to stay there until the next time I mow, and they're just going to get ground up by the lawnmower. That's my plan for finally doing them in. And I thought I saw another question on there. Maybe I hallucinated it. Good evening to you, Revolver Man. And no, apparently I didn't see anything. So yeah, the weather has been a challenge. I want to get this in real quick. GunCon is coming up. I've mentioned this a couple of times in the live streams. It is June 28th, I believe, which is a Saturday. I got an email from someone today asking me if I was going to be there. Yes, I am. If you're in the Cleveland area or you're going to be in the Cleveland area on June 28th and you can make it to GunCon, I should be there. I should be there all day. It goes from, I think, 9 in the morning till 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And there are a couple of events a day or two before that. There's going to be a live fire event that is for media only, which it never ceases to amaze me that I qualify as a member of the media. But in any case, there's going to be a live fire event at a range east of Cleveland. There are going to be quite a few vendors there with their various items. So that'll be kind of nice because unlike when I went to the gathering and there were so many people that there was not a lot of time to try to talk to vendors and get different kinds of information. I think this time around at this particular event, I'm going to have more time to get more information, which I can then pass on to all of you. So that's going to be good. For more information on that, if you go to guncon.net, so that's guncon.net, you can get all the information there. Again, that's going to be in Cleveland, Ohio, and I believe the public event is going to be Saturday, June 28th. Charles Dunnitz, you are most welcome. Thank you for watching. Ben Crane, it's been so wet, it's been hard to get the mowing done. Yeah, I know. And my yard is to the point where it needs to be mowed again. And I don't know if you can hear the rain falling outside, but yeah, it started out this morning started out with a heavy downpour that let off for a while. Then there was another heavy downpour around midday. Then that stopped for a while, and now we're back to the heavy downpour again. So it just, like I said, about once every 6 hours, we seem to be going through this cycle. Revolver Man, what are your thoughts on the Taurus 605, 38, 357 in stainless steel? Would you trust carrying? This just took a jump. Would you trust carrying? Thanks. I suppose I have to qualify this comment by saying I've not handled a recently produced Taurus revolver. The ones that I have experience with are older models, and this goes back probably 15, 20-ish years, something like that. And I did not have a good experience with those revolvers that I was trying from Taurus. They had various issues. I know there was one of them that after just a few shots, it stopped firing. There was apparently a firing pin issue. That ended up having to go back to Taurus for repair. It was not mine. It belonged to someone else that I work with. Now, there was a officer that I qualified back in the day. He didn't work for my department, but he worked for another department, and they had our qualifications through my department. He had an older Taurus revolver, and it was a blued. It was whatever the Taurus version was of essentially the 686. I don't know what the model number was, but it had the full underlug barrel. And that thing seemed to work fine. He used that thing for a long time, and it worked without trouble. So the issue with Taurus always seems to be if you get a good one, you have a pretty good firearm, but you never know whether you're going to get a good one or not. So I guess that's my final comment on Taurus. I tend to avoid them. I've reviewed a couple of their semi-autos on the channel over the course of years, which have been okay. I have not felt the need to run out and buy one, but I can't really speak poorly about them. Their Beretta 92 clone, I think, possibly is the best semi-auto they build, and they're still building that after all these years. And I believe that's the one that essentially started the company for them. Nick the Van Man just made a $10 donation to the channel. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Nick. And you have a question attached to that. What's your opinion on the Ruger 1911s? Just ordered a, wait a second. Just ordered a Ruger SR 1911 9mm target model, steel frame, 5-inch, bushingless barrel, Bomar style adjustable target sights, a lot of features for under $1,000. Unfortunately, I wish this wasn't the case, I don't have any experience with the Ruger 1911s. I've never fired one. I don't even remember off the top of my head handling one. I hear good things about them, and I've read good. So when you get yours and you get some time with it, shoot me a message or an email and let me know what you think of it, because that would be more information than I have right now on them. Art Grote is here. Thanks for joining, Art. KD, sorry you're still having problems with that medical issue. Hopefully you're up and around and feeling better soon. I know that's been bothering you for a while. Ben Crane has handled some Tauruses, so he might be a source of information for those. Too Slow, hello to you. SC Patriot, hello, and thanks for joining from South Carolina. We are going to be down there, by the way, at the end of July. It's not exactly going to be a pleasure trip, or at least not entirely. We've got to go down and move my daughter from where she's currently living to a new apartment before she starts her senior year in college. So I'm going to spend my time down there moving furniture from one location to another. The only good thing is the place she's moving into is pretty small, so I don't think she's going to be able to move a lot of furniture into there. We are going to spend some time at the beach while we're down there. We've got a place reserved down at Folly Beach, so that'll be fun. That's one of our favorite spots to stop when we're down there. Ron Picard, I'm glad you made it. Other things in the news. I think, at least for the moment, I have completed the Rifle Scope 101 series. I was going to put in an additional couple of installments into that series, and maybe I still will at some point in the future. But it just seems like that series, there's been a loyal following, but it's a small loyal following. And the view numbers have really tapered off. It seems like each one has gotten fewer views than the one before that. So I think I'm going to give that series a break, at least for a while. And like I said, I might still put one or two more installments. If you haven't seen that and you have an interest in rifle scopes, and you have always wondered about the difference between Milleradians and MOA, or you wonder why scopes have this feature and don't have that feature, or how to go about selecting a scope, that's really a nuts and bolts basic level course for anyone who has that interest. And I do have it all saved on a playlist. So if you go to my channel page, you can go to the Rifle Scopes 101 playlist, and you can look at all of the videos in the series. I think there are 4 or 5 of them at this point. That issue with the views on the channel brings me to another point that I was going to mention this evening. I don't think the notifications are going out for my videos the way they historically did. And I'm basing that on a couple of things. First off, the group that is in the Wednesday and Saturday premiere gang. And first off, to all of you guys that join that all the time, thank you for being there. But I've noticed that number diminishing, and it's really led me to suspect that there's not as many notifications going out to all of my subscribers as there used to be. I have no idea why, as far as that goes. But just as a reminder, most of the time, almost every Wednesday and almost every Saturday, there's a video premiere at 8 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock Eastern time. So if you have not gotten a notification in a while, if it's been a couple of weeks and you think, where's HR Funk been? I've probably been posting videos and there are just no notifications going to you. once again, if you go back to my channel page, all the videos are listed on there in the order that they release. So if you haven't seen them or if you've missed a couple, you can go back there and catch up. Hand in hand with the suspicion that no notifications are going out, I just think YouTube is up to their usual shenanigans, because there's other strange things going on with the channel too. My new subscriber numbers are about 50% now of what they were back around the first of the year. Back around the first of the year, I was getting, and this was going on for a while, about 1,000 new subscribers each month. And now I'm down to 500 and something, and I don't think that's accidental. And I find it hard to believe that just all of a sudden that I guess pool of people who were interested in the channel and actually subscribed to the channel has dried up. I don't believe that. I think this is, like I said, some sort of YouTube strange thing going on. So I'm to the point where a lot of these videos that I'm working on, and the last couple that I put up definitely are symbolic of this, where I've got tons and tons of time invested into these videos, and they're getting relatively few view numbers. It's kind of a frustrating thing. It's if you look at particularly these rifle scope videos, the one today that went live, and if you didn't see the one this morning, there was one that went live at 8 o'clock this morning. Probably between recording all the segments of that video and then editing it and doing everything else that goes along with it, I've probably got 40 hours worth of time invested in that production. And the view numbers are, I think this is the lowest rated one out of the last 10 that I uploaded. And the way YouTube tracks it, they track it compared to the last 10 uploads you have at that point in time. So at whatever we are here, or at 11 hours, it would compare it to where all those last 10 videos were at the 11-hour mark. And this is number 10 out of 10, meaning it has the lowest number of views at this point in time after its release. So I guess what I'm doing is just venting a little bit here. But I did want to make the point that if you haven't gotten a notification in a while, definitely check the channel page, because there have probably been some videos posted that you just never knew about. And I know some other people have chimed in here. We've got, I'm not sure. Oh, this must be large fishing. I thought that was an I. It must be an L. Large fishing. Late but here. Glad you made it. No Shill gun review. Glad you made it too. Marv Turner, notifications are always late reaching me. Yeah, I think you're probably not alone. And I think there are some people that just plain don't get them. John G was enjoying the scope series. Good. I hope so. And I hope that some of the information coming out of that series was helpful to some of you. It was just virtually all of that was off the top of my head when I was making those videos. And I just was trying to put it together into some sort of a logical progression, so that somebody that was either new to rifle scopes or new to a certain type of rifle scope could start at the very first one, the introduction, and then sort of work their way through that series. And by the time they got to the end of the series, at least have a functional knowledge of scopes and how they work and how to do things like zeroing and range estimation and correcting for bullet drop at various distances and things like that. So I again hope that was helpful for anyone who was following the series. Hot 8 was unsubscribed at one point. Yeah, that's another thing I wonder about with these diminishing subscriber numbers. I wonder if YouTube is going through and unsubscribing people, and they're just unsubscribing them faster than people are subscribing, to the point that it's showing a net decrease of about 50% in my new subscriber numbers for each month. Hey, Huxtable, that's a monster scope, by the way. If you're talking about that Discovery Optics scope, that is a large, large scope. The one that I had in today's video was actually a much more compact scope. It was more along the form of a LPVO, although it was a 1 to 10. And I have a hard time calling a 1 to 10 power scope a low power variable optic. It seems like that's pretty high power at the top end to be calling it a low power variable, although it does still start at 1 power. Katie, some folks just put ridiculous titles just to draw people into. Yeah, I know. And I am not willing to do those kind of things. And I see that. I see these really hyperbolic titles that people put out there, and they do all kinds of ridiculous things in the video, blow things up or throw things off the top of buildings or whatever, just to try to get people to watch the videos. And I'm not going to do that. I guess if I can't sustain viewers with the type of videos that I'm producing, where I'm trying to make them entertaining and informative and all that, then at some point, if it gets to where I'm just flat out losing money continually, and truthfully, I've probably been losing money all along if I actually figured in my time that is required to produce these videos. But if I get to that point where I just think, it's not worth it anymore, then that's probably the point where I'll produce one last video saying thanks to everyone, and that's where the channel will fade away into the sunset. And I lost where I was there. Ron Picard, I get your videos once in a while, but enjoy them all. Thank you, Ron. I appreciate you watching. Yeah, NSGR agrees with the ridiculous titles. Nate Huxtable, I've been unsubscribed in the past. That's why I'm a paid subscriber. Thank you, Nate. And thanks to all my channel members. A special thank you. I really, really appreciate it. Limp Biscuiteer, I stepped away, so I apologize if you answered this earlier. Have you seen the Hilux Unidial scope? It has a system to save your zeros for different ranges. Yeah, the older Leatherwood art scope that I have has the Unidial turret, so that you can save the different zeros to put it on different rifles. I don't know how many people ever move their scope from one rifle to another rifle where you would have 1 0 for one scope and 1 0 for another. But I guess if you were in that situation, you would have that capability with the Unidial scopes. I don't have any of their other scopes. I've got quite a few Hilux scopes, but I don't have any of the other ones that have that particular system. Revolver Man, I'm kicking around buying an older Smith & Model 19 in stainless steel. Wait a second. Hey, let me make sure I'm reading this right. What are your thoughts? First off, the Model 19 is one of my favorite Smith & Wesson revolvers. The combat magnums in general, the Model 19, and if it's stainless steel, not nickel, you'd be looking at a Model 66. That's the stainless steel version of the Model 19. If it's blued or nickel, then that would be a Model 19. But those really are just fabulous revolvers. They are the brainchild of Bill Jordan. I told the story in one of my videos about an article that Bill Jordan had written where he talked about discussing his ideas that eventually became the Model 19 with the president of Smith & Wesson. It's a cool story. It's one of those fun pieces of firearms lore, and the revolver that came from that meeting is a true classic in every sense of the word. It's light, easy to carry, fast handling, powerful. It's really just about everything you could ask in a revolver. Benton Reinstad, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Really enjoy your videos. Really like the 32 ammo video. Ordered some from Lost River right away. Good. I think that ammunition is fantastic. I like that little revolver, and I can't remember if I said this before in a live stream. Sometimes I forget what I've said before and what I've just told other people. But that's kind of become my revolver that I take with me when I'm walking Chewy with that Lost River ammunition because we go walking. There are woods on two sides of my house, and I walk around the edge of the woods when I take it in for a walk. I have about a 2 mile circle that I walk with him, and I keep that little revolver with me because I think 32 should be decent for anything that comes wandering out of the woods, sick animal, feral dog, anything that I might have to deal with. With that Lost River ammo, I think is going to be just the right ticket. It's light, easy to carry, so that has become my dog walking revolver. And I'm just zooming down through here looking for the next comment for me because I know a lot of you guys are talking to each other. And we're up to 49 people in here. That's fantastic. Bob Argenbright, what do you think of the 30 Super Carry in 1911s? The ammo would be easier to get in an ammo buying panic versus 9mm. More power than a 9mm, I think. Reasonable recoil to. There's only one 1911 that I know of that's chambered for the 30 Super Carry. Now, maybe there are some I don't know of, but the one that I know of was made by, real high-end 1911 manufacturer, and it was super expensive. One of you guys help me out. I can't think of the name of the company that built those. But I just, first off, I don't know that 30 Super Carry is going to be around for a whole lot longer. I would hate for somebody to invest heavily into that cartridge only to have it a few years down the road be discontinued. And then if you don't have a lifetime supply of the stuff, you're sort of out of luck. Also, as far as whether it's more powerful than a 9mm or not more powerful than a 9mm, I think we can at least agree that either one of them is going to be adequately lethal with a good hit on the body to a vital area. So I don't know that it's really going to be better or more effective or what have you than a 9mm. The 9mm is certainly more well established. There are all kinds of options out there, all kinds of different ammunition for it. It's relatively speaking inexpensive, whereas the 30 Super Carry is more expensive because it's just not as plentiful. So I guess for me, the 30 Super Carry is just not really an option that I would want to explore. For you, if that's something you like and you want to get it in a 1911, I hope it works fantastically for you. I hope you do have an ammunition supply for as long as you want to shoot the stuff, but it's just not a cartridge for me. Ben Crane thinking about bourbon and being asleep by 9:30, about as exciting as watching paint dry. Yeah, I know, Ben. That's probably a sign of getting old too, because I know I was thinking after the live stream wraps up, I'm probably going to be thinking about jumping into bed and turning on the TV and just chilling for the rest of the evening. Ron Picard, the best revolver I had was a Smith & Wesson Model 19-4, then a Model 66. Yeah, there's just something about the combat magnums. They're just sort of in that just right size and power and handling package, especially the 4-inch model. The 3-inch Model 66 that I have is a wonderful little revolver. That's actually one of my favorite revolvers. If I had to pick a favorite revolver, that would probably be it. But the 4 inches are great. I had a 6-inch Model 19 a while back, which was a nice enough revolver. But when I'm getting into something with a barrel that long, you lose a little bit of that handling quality that you get with the 4-inch and 3-inch and even the 2.5-inch combat magnums. If I get into a 6-inch barrel, then I think I would rather have an L frame or an N frame than the K frame. And now I don't know where I was. Semper Fi to you, Johnny Mac. Good. Ben Crane seconding that he gets the alerts and hasn't been unsubbed as a member. And hopefully that works out for at least the channel members. Since you guys are actually making a monthly contribution, I would hope you get the notifications. Joseph, looking to trade 2 of your P320s for 1 P226. Any takers? I don't know if somebody's going to trade a 226 for a 320. The 226 is taking on that status as a classic handgun. I got a feeling people are going to want to hold on to those. Nighthawk, that's the name of that. I could not think of that. I could, in my mind, I'm picturing that logo of the bird, but I could not come up with Nighthawk. So thanks, Ben. Kaiser, where'd that go? So's, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Were you ever at Pendleton in the 80s? I was at Camp Pendleton for 1 week. When I got out of the Marine Corps, I came back from Iwakuni, and I had less than 90 days left in my enlistment. Well, at least I thought I did, until I got recalled out of the IRR for Operation Desert Storm about 2 years later. But I came back from Iwakuni, flew into LA. They put me on a bus and sent me down to Camp Pendleton, and that's where I processed out of the Marine Corps. Then I spent my last week of my initial enlistment at Camp Pendleton, but that's the only time I was ever there. And now I'm zooming through these comments. Squirrel moment, yeah. Skip is at a church function. Well, that's good, though. I'm sure he's having a good time there. John G., thanks for joining. Appreciate you being here. Have a great evening. Terry Barnes, hi to you. 1957 Porsche Speedster. I met a Marine Vietnam vet, two-time Purple Heart recipient at the range yesterday. We had a good chat, and I thanked him for his service. Good. And I hope you both had a good time at the range. Kaiser So's warrant officer? No, I was a corporal when I got out of the Marine Corps. And a corporal when I got recalled into the Marine Corps and when I got out of the Marine Corps the second time. Which kind of bugged me. I thought by that time I should have been promoted to sergeant, but they were not doing a lot of promoting during Desert Storm, or at least not where I was. What else do I have on the list here to tell you guys about tonight? Hope everybody has a great Memorial Day weekend coming up. If you missed what I said earlier, there might not be a Saturday video. In fact, at this point, with the way things are looking, I would say there's probably not going to be a Saturday video. So everyone enjoy the weekend, have a great holiday, and we'll kick things off again probably next Wednesday. Did I already go through everything on my list? Oh, no, I didn't. I've got some cool things coming up that are going to be in videos once I can get them produced. I mentioned that I've started working with one of those today. This is going to be a new firearm. Whenever I can get out to the range without needing a canoe, I will get that video completed. And once I get it edited and uploaded, you'll be able to see that. But it's going to be fun. I think you guys are going to find this product to be interesting. It's a little off the beaten path as far as firearm products go, but it's cool. And I think it's just going to make for a fun video and a fun firearm to work with. I've got another one that is supposed to be coming soon that I am really, really looking forward to. It's one of these firearms that I've been wanting for years and years and years and years and years. And I finally got an opportunity to get one in for a review, and I cannot wait until it gets here. What else? Oh, and there's another one that at least allegedly is going to be coming. It's probably not going to be here until probably late summer or maybe early fall. But that's another one that's going to make a really cool firearm. And I'm not going to tell you anything about any of them other than I think you're really going to like them. I've got some more optics on the way in. I've got a fantastic rifle scope. This is another one of these that I'm really looking forward to working with. I just contacted someone yesterday that works for that manufacturing company, and I'm going to be getting that probably, I would guess, within the next week. I had to do a little bit of paperwork to get that sent to me, but that should be coming soon. This is a price-wise, quality-wise, and feature-wise, this is a pretty high-end scope. Potentially, this might be the highest end scope that I've worked with on the channel. And I'm looking forward to getting this one in and being able to work with it and get a good review out. The only thing with the rifle scope videos, like I was talking about earlier, is they are extremely labor intensive. To try to do a good review on a rifle scope and do everything that you need to, from box tests to magnification tests to longer distance shooting and all that, really takes a lot of time to actually get all the footage recorded. And then when you're editing and you're showing through the scope images and splicing them into the video and all that kind of thing, it's an extremely time consuming thing. But with the scopes that I've been working with lately, I've really I've enjoyed the optics to the point that I'm not quite so upset with doing all that work. The only bad thing is, like I said, I put the videos up then, and due to YouTube or whatever, they're just not getting the type of views that I wish they would get. But anyway, got that coming. I've got some more some pistol optics that are going to be on the way. The pistol optics are a little easier to work with. Anything where I'm working with a handgun, partially because of the distances involved, I don't have to go 300 yards down range to work with a camera and then go back up range and shoot whatever I'm shooting and then go back down range and then stop the camera and all that kind of thing. If I'm doing things on a handgun range, whether it's optics or handguns or whatever, it's just a lot quicker and easier than really working anything with a rifle. Nate Huxtable, HR, because I saw someone has a J-frame size revolver in 380. That seems interesting. Did I see that? It seems to me there's somebody out there making one right now that shoots 380, 9mm. I don't know, maybe a couple of other ones in that same basic size as well, but I can't remember who it is. No G-lock. Nope, no G-locks coming in, at least not right now. I've still got the Ruger RXM, so that's filling the G-lock slot at the moment. Benton Reinstad just bought a 1022 takedown. Have you made the video, or do you intend to make a video on that? I've kind of wanted to do a 1022 takedown since they came out with them. My problem is I've got one 1022 here already that is one that I basically built a couple of years ago. I modified a basic 1022, so I've got that one. I've got another unmodified 1022 in the safe right beside me, and I keep thinking, do I really need a third 1022? But I would kind of like to do a review on the takedown model. I think that's kind of a cool concept. So you never know. You might see one of those coming up. I've also got, I was contacted by a gentleman who works for an advertising firm. Oh, this was within the last several days. And he has put me in touch with somebody else that, among other things, makes high-end 22s. I've not heard back from that. Uh-oh. Something disturbed Chewy. he's worn out from sleeping all day, so he's now sleeping on the floor beside me, and something disturbed his sleep, and that's what that was. But anyway, I hope to hear back from this individual pretty soon. It would be great to get one of their 22 rifles in. They're very accurate match grade 22s, so that would be fun to work. So I got a lot of irons in the fire. It's just waiting for everything to sort of run its course and get these things here to work with. Ask if you know the 1022 is like asking if you know the 1911. And there might be another 1911 on the way. Ben Crane is having flashbacks. We were together at a function at Hop Armament. What was that? That was Veterans Day. Was that last year or the year before? Anyway, Chewy was still a puppy, and Ben ended up on Chewy duty for a while because I was trying to do some other things. All right, and I am caught up with the questions and comments here, so that's cool. So yeah, anything else you guys want to throw out? Questions about the channel, questions about anything in the video, questions about Chewy, although I don't know how much good that's going to do, but definitely throw those out. Year before. Okay, I couldn't remember. I lose track of time now. And I have not heard if they're going to do that again this year. Last year, I guess I was there last year. I was back there for Veterans Day again last year. I assume they're going to do something again this year, but nobody has told me about that as of yet. Once again, if you're going to be in Cleveland around June the 28th, GunCon is going on. I'm planning on being there. If you are going to be there and you see me, definitely come up and say hi. If you need more information on that, go by guncon.net. That's guncon.net, and you'll be able to get all the information there on that event. In New York, you can't even buy a 1022 unless you have a pistol permit. What? These states, like New York, California, all the usual suspects, the rules and laws they come up with are mystifying. You need a pistol permit to buy a 22 semi-auto carbine. Ben Crane, any thoughts on the Kel-Tec sub 2010 millimeter? Yeah, I think it'd be awfully expensive to shoot. I like the 10 millimeter cartridge. I guess I've got just two 10 millimeters at the moment. I like that powerful semi-auto cartridge. I like the I guess what it brings to the table in a semi-auto platform. I don't shoot that cartridge very often, partly because it is such an expensive cartridge to shoot. I think somebody getting it in the Kel-Tec 1020 or the Kel-Tec 1022, the Kel-Tec sub 2000 is going to have a good firearm. I've got two sub 2000s. One of them is 40 Smith & Wesson. The other one's in 9mm. They've been great firearms. The things they run fantastically. They are more accurate than they have any right to be. I believe the 10mm is probably going to be exactly the same in those respects. Like I said, I just don't want to pay for the ammunition to feed one of them. Vehicle warning, I left Illinois because of the PICA Act. Firearm, yeah. Illinois is another one of those states that their laws and rules are just insane. Mr. Goldenrod, Smith & Wesson FPC and 10mm. Yeah, I think largely the comments that I made about the sub 2000 would also apply to the folding pistol carbine. The one that I had in 9mm was accurate. It was fun to shoot. It was reliable. But that's just going to be a really expensive cartridge to cycle very many of them through, whether it's the FPC, the Sub 2000, or anything else that chambers a 10mm. What grips do you currently have on your daily carry snubby? I wish I could show it to you. The one that I've been carrying a lot is that 432 titanium ultimate carry revolver that I did the review on a while back. It's got those same grips on that came from, I am probably not going to pronounce this right, Hamry Forge, that are sort of, it's almost like a rough out leather feel to the grips themselves, but those are the ones that are on there. Rabbi is here. How you doing, Rabbi? 10mm is the best millimeter. Bruce Perkins, have you ever shot a 38-44 Smith & Wesson heavy duty? Yeah, I did. About a year ago, I was attending a training event, and there was a gentleman there. In fact, it's the gentleman who invited me to it, and he had a 38-44 heavy duty that he let me shoot. Cool revolver, fun to shoot. I actually did a very short, in fact, I think I've got it up here. I did a short impromptu tack driving with it because he asked me to do it. So out of the blue, I'm out there with a revolver I'd never shot before, and I'm trying to drive a tack, and I succeeded. So that was good too. Ben Crane, the other big news from the NRAM was the High Point AR-15. Yeah, I was talking to somebody about this a week or so ago. It's funny to me. High Point has been the subject of many, many unflattering comments over the years. And the AR-15, we hear constantly that the market's saturated and there are too many people out there making AR-15s and blah, 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 blah. And all of a sudden, High Point builds an AR-15, and there are like 2,000 YouTube videos on it, blowing up the internet with people, look at this, it's the new exciting AR-15 from did I say Caltech? From High Point. So I don't know. Yeah. I hope it's a good firearm. I hope anybody who buys one really likes it. I hope it functions tremendously. I hope it's accurate. I'm probably not going to be rushing out to try to get one myself. Serendipitous. Did you see the announcement about the new made CMP Garands? And if so, what did you think about the idea? I saw the email earlier today, and I just glanced at it. I didn't read the thing. And the thing that caught my attention was the receiver on the rifle in the email looked like it hadn't been finished. It looked like it was still in the white, or maybe even it was a stainless receiver. I don't know. So based on your comment, it sounds like they must be getting newly manufactured receivers and building brand new rifles. I guess that's a pretty good idea. I mean, the supply of surplus vintage M1s is going to dry up. I mean, granted, there were 6 million of them, 6+ million of them made while that rifle was being produced, but sooner or later that supply is going to run out. We're already kind of seeing that with the other rifles from earlier. The 1903 Springfield rifle is getting harder and harder to find. Same thing with the 1917, and the Garands aren't going to be far behind. So if CMP is going to build new ones, I think that's great because there will still be rifles out there for people to be able to acquire and shoot. Clutch Cargo, are 1911s any good? Oh my, that's like asking if baseball, apple pie, all those all-American things are any good. In my estimation, yes. So long as you have a good one. There have been some not so good 1911s made by certain companies over the years, but so long as you get a decent 1911, I think they are very good handguns. Chief, would you please do a series and a video on the maintenance of an M1A? I've got a couple of older videos up showing some of the maintenance and some of the ways I do the cleaning and things like that with the M1A and with the M1 Garand as far as that goes. Um, with the YouTube videos, they are the way they are right now, showing complete takedown and cleaning and all that kind of thing. I don't know how that would play. I would like to do something like that. I enjoy doing the maintenance, armor, gunsmithing type videos, but it's getting more and more difficult to be able to navigate the YouTube rules and put something like that up. Josh, is it Josh Maker? Merker? I hope I'm pronouncing that right. The thing is that while High Point is seen as a joke, they simply work seriously looking at getting a 45 ACP carbine. Yeah, and I wasn't really trying to speak poorly of them myself when I said that. I was just saying that, they have been the subject of a lot of non-flattering comments over the years. And I'm sure I've made some of those myself as far as that goes. But I have heard people say that they work, they're obviously affordable, so they're sort of a niche firearm to meet the needs of people who are either unable or just don't want to spend more money on something else that's a little bit more refined. Ben Crane's thinking about buying one for the same reason he bought the Yeet cannon. Yes, Ben has a Yeet cannon. He's the one person I know that has one. Jamil Swed, hey, thanks for joining. I'm glad you made it. Jamil has Gunstock reviews on YouTube. If you guys haven't seen any of his videos, check them out. They're a lot of fun. I met Jamil at the SHOT Show this year. We had a great conversation there, and also he hooked me up with the folks from Ransom Rest. So that rest that I've been using in a lot of the handgun reviews where I'm testing accuracy and all that, that's directly because of Jamil and his assistance. So thank you, Jamil. Controversial take. If the Garand was good, they'd still be using it. Yeah, and they'd still be using the old Jeeps and what else? Sherman tanks. And I'm just zooming down through the comments right now. Clutch car, any good 1911 comes with an AARP. Hey, Rabbi, watch that. Justin, HR decided that I like my 38 Super 1911 more than my 45 ACP 1911. Just prefer how the 38 Super shoots. I don't think I could say I like my 38 Super more than my 45s, but I don't like it any less. I really like that cartridge. It's one of those that it's sort of a hand loader's cartridge, truthfully, because when you can take it and really get it to its full potential, ballistically, you have a really versatile cartridge that's kind of knocking at the doorstep of a 357 Magnum. Not quite, it's not quite there, but it's not too terribly far behind. And for a semi-auto, you get a nice flat shooting, hard hitting cartridge that really doesn't beat you to death in recoil. So I like the 38 Super a lot. Nate, I'm not sure if they're stainless or not. It's either, like I said, I just glanced at that photo that was in the email. It's either a stainless receiver or it's a carbon steel receiver that for some reason is left in the white. Tom Kieran, Semper Fi to you. Yeah, watch that auto capitalization there, Ben. Katie Cowboy, anyone ever see this Fortis ultralight rear rest bag top? It's made in England, 261 pounds. It does not sound familiar to me, KD. Only photos are unfinished prototypes. Okay, so apparently those are carbon steel and they just haven't gotten around to finishing them yet. Tom Kieran, how can I get a hold of my former DIs? Um, I don't know. There used to be a website, and I don't know if it's still up anymore. It was called Together We Served. I think that was the name of it. And you could go in there, and there was a list or some way you could search back through for people who had been in the military. And I don't remember now if you searched by name or how it worked. It's been a long time since I looked on it, but I do know I saw one or two people that I had been in the Marine Corps with, and I don't remember if there was an email address there or not. I know I saw the picture of one guy. I remember him as a brand new MP who had come to Iwakuni while I was over there. He just gotten out of boot camp and military police training, and his first duty station was Iwakuni, Japan. Young guy, great guy. He was probably a private first class or Lance Corporal when I knew him. And when I saw him on that website all those years later, he was a sergeant major. He was still in the Marine Corps. I thought, holy smokes, that's little Ben, and he's a sergeant major. Wow. Not our Ben, but this guy's name was Ben also. But if that's still around, you might take a look at it and see if you can find your drill instructors there. Uh-oh, Rabbi's got to go move furniture. Have a great night, Rabbi. All right, gang, we are coming up on an hour here. In fact, we just rolled over the 57-minute mark. So I am going to start looking at wrapping things up. If you have any last minute questions or comments that you want to get in here, throw them out quick and I'll try to answer them. But I will start to make my parting comments to everyone who has participated this evening. Thank you very much. I appreciate it greatly. I always look forward to these live streams and having the chance to interact with all of you. And as I've said so many times, all of you are what keep me on YouTube. It's not working with YouTube, believe me, and it's not a lot of the other things, but it is the interaction and exchange of information and ideas that all of us have, the relationships that we have, the friends that I've made. You guys are all what keeps me coming back in front of the camera time and time again. Thank you, thank you, thank you. To my channel members, a special thank you for the monthly contribution that you make. I mentioned that a little while ago. I've got 50 or 51 channel members at present. You guys are fantastic, especially when I get in these times like I've been in here for this last month or so, where YouTube is demonetizing everything that I put up. You guys, that contribution you make is just phenomenal. That really, really helps. To everybody who joins in the live stream premiere chats and sends comments to the videos and sends me emails through my website or whatever, thank you very much. I appreciate it all. I try to respond to anybody who has questions, and I read all of the comments and all of the emails and everything that comes in. Sometimes there are comments that you just can't really say much to, that somebody makes says something that's their opinion, hey, I really like the trigger on my whatever XYZ 2000 or whatever. Okay, I might give that a heart or something. Okay, fantastic. But there's not much that I can say to it unless I happen to have that same model. Say, oh yeah, I like it too. I got one of those. So, but I do read them all. I respond to the vast majority of them. And again, any type of questions that I get or anything like that that comes in, get a priority because I want to try to get any information I can out to people. Although sometimes the true answer is just, I don't know. Somebody will ask me about a firearm that I have no experience with, or ask me a question that I just don't know the answer to. A lot of times I can at least point people in the right direction where they might be able to get some information, but I don't obviously know everything. Anyway, I hope you all have a fantastic evening and a great, great holiday weekend. Like I said, the Saturday video is probably not going to be there unless miraculously the sun comes out tomorrow and I'm able to make it to the range and complete this video that I've been working on that I started with today. But in all likelihood, there won't be a Saturday video. You all will be able to enjoy your holiday weekend. And as I said earlier, we'll kick things off again next week, probably with the Wednesday video. So have a great, great evening. Thanks again. Until next time, everybody, good night and good shooting. Bye-bye for now.